The following segment is sponsored by Indeed. As we close out a dynamic year in the job market marked by tech industry shifts and concerns about AI job automation, economist Cory Stahle is here to share insight on the future of work. Cory, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, so this is concern for a lot of people. What does the future look like for job seekers and employers?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I mean, I think as we look at 2024, I think it can be helpful to take a dose of 2023 into mind. I just think it's interesting because if we look back to last year and what we were talking about, and looking forward to the next year, a lot of people were predicting a potential recession or a potential downturn. And I think it's really interesting to note that based on the economic data we have right now, that hasn't happened. And so as we looked at this kind of report, our kind of mindset was, okay, so 2023 was this year of resilience in the labor market. Now, what do we need to do to have a repeat performance? And so from this jobs and trends report, we identified 5 different trends around, whether employers continue to hire, whether job seekers participate kind of at higher levels that we've seen, and the levels we've seen the last few years. But I think also notably for job seekers and for individuals, also keeping a track on what happens with wage growth and inflation kind of as a result. And then also interesting enough, what happens with generative AI. We've heard a lot about these artificial intelligence tools and, how they are going to impact the job market. And so I think really taking a deep look at really what the impact is going to be in this upcoming year and even beyond that, I think is going to be key.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, and like you said, everyone's talking about AI. How will AI spread throughout the labor market?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And some of the research we've done recently, we've looked at generative AI and some of these different tools. And I think what we really found from the data, and basically what we did is we took like 55 million job postings on Indeed and did this massive kind of dig in and look at the different skills and postings. And what we found from that was that generative AI is something that is going to impact every single job in some way. Some jobs it's going to maybe impact a little bit higher. Generative AI might be pretty good at writing code, but it's not going to be so good at, driving a truck, right? So we're going to see kind of some differences in the way that generative AI impacts jobs. But I think overall, every job to some degree will be impacted. Pretty much every one of us uses email these days, so we might see, additional tools kind of around those types of skills unfolding. But I think what's important to note here is that even though we've heard so much said about generative AI and artificial intelligence, we're still seeing very few employers, less than 1% of job postings on Indeed, even mentioning these types of skills. So I think in 2024, the question is going to be, do employers start to ask for more of these types of skills? And to what degree are these skills really adopted, in the labor market?
Absolutely. Okay, really fast. We're almost out of time. What sectors are primed to enter the new year on good footing?
So right now, what we've seen is the sectors that are kind of the strongest are the ones that have really the strong human element involved in them. And a lot of these kind of in-person jobs, we've seen software development jobs have pulled back, but nursing, childcare, manufacturing, these are all sectors where we've seen higher than average levels of job postings, even as recently as, a couple weeks ago. And so I would expect to see some of that carry forward into the next year.
Perfect. All right. And for more information, everyone, you can visit the website at the bottom of the screen. Cory, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.